Hey YouTube, this is Mini with Bam's Tactical. Today I'm starting what's going to be a 19 or 20 part series on prepping. This is the Prepper's Checklist. This is something I've made and followed over the last decade. It's exclusive to Patreon, so if you want the actual list itself, you'll have to go to Patreon to get that. And actually, after about 3 videos, they will move exclusively to Patreon. So the first 3 videos of the series are going to be here, kind of as a teaser, and then after that, if you want the rest of the series, you're going to have to go to Patreon. Alright, so we're starting at the very top of the list. Tier 1, 30 to 60 days worth of supplies. Category 1, water. So this is for 30 to 60 days of water. Alright, so the very first thing on the list is a water filter. And I want to go through all the different types of filters that I've tried and what my preference is. So I started with, I believe it is Katadyn, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a mountain up north, I'm sorry. I started with one of these like when I was a teenager in Boy Scouts. And I loved it. This is actually the original one that I had. It's a pump filter where you put one end into the water and then you just pump, and it pumps clean water out the other end into whatever container you want. You can put it straight into your mouth. It works great. But as you can see, it's a little more bulky. So what I tried to do is downsize a little bit. So the first thing I tried after that, tried to go on a multi-day long-distance hiking trip with this, and after the first day I was already regretting it. And it's not that the filter doesn't work good, it's that this bag works terrible. Alright, this bag was really difficult to get to fill up. Alright, I was trying to scoop the water, I was trying to hold the bag open, I just couldn't get the water in the bag. It's a very tough bag, but it was really hard to get water into. So I did on YouTube, then I saw somebody advertising about this, the Knock Outdoors water bladder. So this thing works by taking this off, and then you can open it up, and it is way easier to fill this with water. Then you fold it back closed, you slide this guy back on, it holds it shut, and then you can screw your Sawyer filter on here, and then you can squeeze it out through the Sawyer filter with this bag, which is much easier to roll and squeeze the water out on. So once I discovered this bag, my backup, like my emergency water filters, are basically all of these bags and a Sawyer Mini. Because when I first got into Sawyer, they didn't make the Mini. Here's the regular size Sawyer. Here's the Mini. So it is a little smaller, a little lighter, and it's real easy to just put into this bag on the outside, and I just roll it up, and then I can shove this in a pack somewhere, and this is my emergency backup water source. When I go on a multi-day trip and I know I'm going to need to refill my water, I still to this day use the Katadyn, whatever, the pump filter. It is still my favorite. It is the fastest to refill your bladders. So like when me and my wife go hiking and it's really hot and we know we're gonna have to refill, I always bring the pump because I can refill both of our 3-liter bladders in just a few minutes. So another thing I tried, I wasn't a huge fan of, but I tried it, is this Life Straw bottle. Alright, so it's got a Life Straw in the bottle. I don't know if you can see it real well in the video, but it's got a Life Straw in the bottle. So you take the bottle, you scoop some water, and you drink directly out of it. And it's not a bad idea, and it's not that it doesn't work good. It is a little hard to drink out of, and as my wife found out really quick, because we each had one, hers got ruined real quick just because she was drinking out of some pretty dirty water that she hadn't filtered before getting into the bottle, you know, at all. Like there's chunks of dirt and stuff, and it clogged real fast. So not that it doesn't work, it's just not my favorite, but this is a nice option that doesn't look super tactical, or if you're trying to be real gray man. Now, don't worry about the cover. That's something else. That comes from a third party. But if you just had this water bottle, it just looks like an Nalgene bottle that you would have hanging on your pack. So if you're trying to go real gray man, that's not a bad option. So, like I said, Katadyn, if I know I need a water filter, that's my go-to for an emergencies as a backup, for an EDC or a get-home bag or something like that. I go Sawyer Mini with the CNOC water bladder. Next thing on the checklist is a portable container. All right, so you've got a way to filter it. You need a way to carry it. I personally like water bladders. I hear a lot of people talking bad about them. They prefer bottles. I never like to stop and get my bottle out to drink, but I will stay like on a clock, like on a mission when I'm hiking. Every 15 minutes I take a swig from my water bladder. And I've never had one leak. I've never had one pop. Knock on wood. But I love water bladders, so that's what I use. You can use a canteen. You can use Nalgene bottles. You can use smart water bottles, whatever. But you need a way to carry your water. My wife just, whenever we go out, this is like her backup. She uses something like this. Me, I like something that's got a little more storage in it. So I use something like this, but still I use a water bladder stuck into the pack so that I can carry water with me wherever I'm going. The water bladders can fold up real small, just like this one can, but it's up to you. Get a water bladder or a canteen or a Nalgene bottle or whatever, and a way to carry it. Right? You don't want to be carrying it in your hand all the time. One, it takes up your hands, so you can't use them, and two, it gets really exhausting carrying it by hand. If you have a way to strap it to your belt or put it on your back, you'll be much happier. All right, number 3 on the list is a water bob. This is a bathtub storage system. This is actually a brand. I'm sure there's other brands out there that do the same thing. But it's a thing that you can put in your bathtub and then fill with water, and it helps keeps dirt and bugs out of it. And then it's got a pump with it, so you can pump it out of your bathtub into whatever you need. To me, this works great, because most of our toilets are right next to our bathtub. We could then pump it out into our toilet and still flush the toilet early on in an emergency. If you're not on your own septic, then eventually the toilets will stop working. But this gives you a little bit of a backup. And remember, this is like 30 days worth of survival. This is like a major hurricane, earthquake, tornado comes through, and you being able to supply water to your friends and family. All right. The last thing on this category is 1 month of stored water. So I try to keep this as basic as possible because I know some people just don't like doing the math. So the basic calculation is 1 ounce of water per kilogram of body weight. I know us Americans, we have to, transfer our weight in pounds to kilograms. So I'm about 200 pounds, which is about 90 kilograms. So that means me being sedentary, I need about 90 ounces of water per day. More if you're being active. So 90 ounces a day for 30 days. So 90 times 30 is 2,700 ounces. And again, use a calculator or use Google to transfer this, because that 2,700 ounces is about 21 gallons or 80 liters. That's just for me. That's not for my wife or any friends or family or little ones running around. So for me personally, for 30 days of water, not having to leave my house, not having to pour water out of the sink, for me to just drink, this is not flushing the toilets, this is not cooking, just for drinking, I need 80 liters of water. I use liters to calculate this with because most things these days are in liters, especially the way I store it. So one of my favorite ways to store water for drinking is just these little Ozarka 3-liter bottles. They're great for stacking. All right, they've got a bottom that's made for stacking. Some of the other 3 liters for other brands aren't made for stacking, and it makes it a little harder to store. But these 3 liters, they used to be $1 each. They've gone up a little bit, but they used to be $1 for 3 liters of water. So I could get 90 80 divided by 3, whatever that is. But you're less than $30 for an entire month's worth of water. This is another way that's a little easier to drink from. So this is a 32 pack of half-liter bottles. So this right here is 16 liters of water. So what I did is about 2 of these per person, which gives you 32 liters, and then 80 minus that, about 58, so about 18, 19 of these. I think we went with 18 of these and 2 of these per person as a minimum. Not that we don't have more than that, but that was our minimum. That's where we started. For 30 days of water, 18 of these, 2 of these per person, and we were good to go. There are other ways to do this, but some people have just woken up to how crazy the world is, and they're trying to figure out where to start. And to me, this is where you start. This is step 1. Get your water, 30 days of water, and then move on to step 2, which is food. That'll be the next video. It'll be all about how to store 30 to 60 days of food. It'll be on both Patreon and YouTube. So make sure you check out the Patreon page, give this video a like, share it to your friends who are also beginning. I hope you appreciated it. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment if you have any questions or criticisms, and I'll see you around. Thanks for watching.